All right, it's a little bit after 4:30. It's 4:31. Today is April 27th. We're meeting for the Carver Council on Aging Board of Directors in Room 1 at Town Hall. This meeting is being recorded by Area 58 Community Access Media, and it will be posted by Area 58 on YouTube as soon as possible. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first order of business tonight is public comments. Do we have anybody that would like to make a public comment? Nobody?
No.
Okay, all right, thank you. The next item on the agenda is the reorganization of the board. And at this time, I would take nominations for chair.
I will make a motion to renominate you for chair for another year.
Donna Foran.
Donna Ferrand.
I second.
Okay. Do we have any other nominations for chair?
Madam Chair, I don't have a nomination, but I think it's only fair. Do you want it?
Excuse me, what?
Are you willing to go ahead and do it?
Yeah, I'd be willing to stay on as chair.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Do you want it?
Do you
No.
want it? Okay. All right, any other nominations for chair? Anybody want to nominate Alan, Elaine, Helen? Anybody else? No? Okay. All right, all those who are in favor of Donna Foran as chair.
Aye.
Aye.
And we'll start with Alan.
Alan Dunham says aye.
Aye. Elaine Raymond.
Helen Maroney says aye.
Okay, and thank you very much, Donna Foran.
And Madam
I
Chair,
accept
can I
the
ask to make
nomination.
sure that everybody does speak into their microphone? Because having watched YouTubes of these, it's very hard for people on YouTube. If you're not, I'm just asking that everybody speak in the microphone.
Didn't even see.
All right, I accept the nomination
I
of
don't think
chair,
this even works.
and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Donna.
Thank you, Donna.
All right,
It's a
so
big
now we'll
job.
move on to vice chair. Do we have any nominations for vice chair?
I nominate Alan Dunham for vice chair.
I second that.
I third it.
Would you be willing?
I'm willing to. Basically, I hope to use it if elected to further my knowledge of the board of directors, since I am the new kid on the block and I am still learning. So, but I will be more than willing to take that position and try to be a help to Donna.
Okay, thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Start with Elaine.
Aye.
Donna Foran says aye. Helen Maroney?
Helen Maroney says aye.
Alan Dunham says aye.
And you accept the nomination,
Yes.
correct? Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you, Alan.
All right, so moving on to the next item is the secretary's position. Do we have a nomination for secretary?
I nominate Helen Maroney.
I second that.
Okay.
Torture right back and forth, right?
Do you accept?
Yes, I will help. I will continue to assist.
Okay, so we have a first motion, a second motion. All those in favor of Helen Maroney for secretary?
Alan Dunham says aye.
Elaine Raymond says aye.
Donna Foran says aye.
And Helen Maroney says aye.
Okay,
aye,
all right,
aye,
that's a
aye.
unanimous vote for Helen for secretary. Thank you, and welcome everybody to the board for the 23-24 year. Wow, time flies.
I know.
Okay, so the next item on the agenda is approval of minutes, and I have September 2022 minutes here. They were already emailed out to everybody previously, and this is just a procedure that I'd like to make because I did not notice it in the minutes that it was approved. So they've already been posted, and I know that they were approved previously, but it didn't make it into the minutes. So I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes that were emailed to you, and if we have a motion on that.
For September what?
2022.
Was I here?
No, I did the minutes
Yeah.
that day.
Yeah, you did.
Then you
the-
don't have, Madam Chair, you don't have enough of a quorum to go ahead and approve those minutes because
Oh, 'cause
neither Helen
wasn't-
nor I was not on the board then.
So
And you need
this
at least
is the
3
thing,
members.
they were already approved, but they weren't written into the minutes. So would we amend those minutes that they were voted on?
Yes.
Okay, so, and I don't have a copy of those minutes. So I guess we will postpone this until I have the other minutes so that we can verify that. It was the January minutes, I believe.
Also, Madam Chair, shouldn't that be on this February 2023?
Oh, yes, that is correct. So there is a,
So
an
you-
error.
As long as you three were at that meeting, you can take action on that one.
So on the February 20, that should be February 2023, and we all have a copy of those minutes in our possession today.
Right.
So the agenda is not correct. It says February 2022. That should be February 2023 minutes. So that's a mistake.
So,
Do we have, I'll make a motion that we amend the February 2022 to be February 2023, and that's a procedural
you're talking
error.
about the agenda?
The agenda.
Yeah,
be
the
corrected.
agenda, yeah.
Okay, so you're making a motion to
To-
approve as amended?
Approve
Amend
correction.
the agenda to read February 2023 minutes.
To be, Madam Chair, to be technical, because it was put down as 2022, and that's what the public had access to, it's fine to go ahead and amend it to 2023, but I don't feel we can take any action on it until the next meeting to make
Okay.
sure the public had the full notice
Okay.
of which minutes we were approving.
All right, thank you very
All
much
right.
for that. So, okay,
For the
so,
record, though, I'm a little confused. So you had on the agenda approval of the February 2022 minutes, which is incorrect.
right.
You want to amend it to the agenda to the approval of the minutes for February of '23, but we're just going to leave it as is and
And I move we defer
We're gonna
approval
defer.
of the February 2023 minutes until our May meeting.
Yeah, we're going to defer both, actually.
Yeah.
Mhm.
September and February.
February.
And we need to vote on that motion.
So, okay. I'm just thinking through this September. So it's me, Elaine, it was me and you that were at that meeting,
Yeah,
and Paula was there. So can we use Paula to approve those minutes?
Wish I could find them, because wasn't, yeah, well, Mary wasn't.
You were there, Paula, September,
I think I was listed as approving it, wasn't
that's what I'm saying.
I? I seconded it, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that these were the,
As long as it was the motion made and seconded, then it's fine. Just the fact that it didn't make it into the minutes, I don't think is a big deal, because
No.
you've already approved
Yeah.
the September 2022 meeting.
right,
It's already approved, so
yeah,
it really didn't need to be on this agenda anyway.
okay.
Just because it didn't make it into the minutes,
I agree. The minutes can just be amended and put up on the website as amended. I mean, I don't think that's a big deal at all,
All right,
because the official part is they were approved.
They were approved.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so,
So I'll put out another email with the, so hold on, let me just think this through. So I will
Sure.
be sending out another email with the amended minutes.
Mhm.
Okay. With the approval of the September 22
Correct.
Okay, all right.
Correct.
And then we have a motion to defer the 2023 February minutes to the
Correct.
next meeting.
I'll
Okay,
second that.
okay. And all those in favor to defer the minutes from February 2023?
Yeah.
Aye.
Aye, okay.
Hi.
Who made the motion?
I made the motion to
Okay.
defer,
To
to
defer.
put, defer.
Elaine seconded. Okay. Now, get that straightened out. All right. The next item on the agenda is the rental agreement, and this is a continued document that we've been working on, and I just want to state that the last suggestion that we had on the rental agreement was for keys to be
Yeah.
distributed and locks to be distributed
Before we rent it out?
before we were able to rent it out. And I'd like to ask the director, were those keys distributed
Well,
to
there's
you?
One rental key for the renters and
Okay.
the locks have been established.
Okay, so there's a way to lock up
Yes,
things. Okay, so you're comfortable with that?
yes.
Okay, all right, okay, so that's a
So
good.
now we can
Now
rent it
we
out.
can go ahead, yep. That was the only holdup, was that?
Yep,
Okay,
that's good news.
that's wonderful news. Okay, so the policy has, we had already approved the policy
Yes, we did.
upon the
Yep,
the acceptance of the keys by the
Correct.
director. Okay, so that was
Correct.
approved at last meeting. Okay. All right,
that is correct.
all right. Moving along.
Did the reorg the approval on the rental agreement?
Any questions on the rental agreement or anything like that? No? Okay. All right, the next item on the agenda is the events committee, reorganization. It's a work in progress. You can see on your agenda, on the back side, there were some ideas. Outdoor decks, sitting bench, evening fire pit event, with cooking, we'd be cooking, Carver's Farmers Market, Carver Night Out, weekend tea, pickleball, Saturday morning men's club, multicultural meals 4 times a year, Council on Aging budget. So I'll start at the bottom for one thing. The Council on Aging budget of $500. Connie, that was not approved.
Correct.
Okay, so that was not approved. We were trying to put it through this year, but for next year, but it wasn't approved at that meeting that,
Now, since I wasn't, excuse me, wasn't at the meeting, is that $500 to the Council on Aging or the Board of Directors?
Board of Directors,
For
yeah.
activities that we
Okay.
run and
Right,
we have to
yeah.
purchase
Okay, so
things.
that got turned down even
It
though,
got turned down because there was a funding issue for across the whole town, so they were cutting back on,
okay.
yeah, across the town,
Through the chair,
yes.
could there be an appeal made by the board to the town? Because that deficit that was identified at the time this decision was made was rectified. And so situations, conditions have changed. And
Mhm.
where it's only $500, but it's significant for the events.
Right.
Might that be something we can appeal?
Madam Chair, my understanding is that once the town has voted on the budget,
That's it.
that's it. Other avenues that would be available to us would be to approach the select board for any extra, where they can transfer funds within the town. Another avenue would be to approach the finance committee for that funding that they have. That'd be the only way to get it.
Okay, so we have it on the agenda here, the budget for the $500. So do we want to send an email off to the select board, or how do we want to handle that? Alan, do you have any recommendations about how to handle that?
Okay. First, it looks like we're taking this a little bit out of order, but
Well, I started at the bottom and I'm going backwards, so.
Okay.
Because that's what everyone usually does.
No, because I know the other ones are a lot more.
I'm joking.
Since I'm not sure what the select board can do, plus
Right.
we're not even in the fiscal year yet.
Right.
I think we'd have to wait for any requests to be after
July
July 1st.
Okay,
And then at that point, my recommendation would be to go to the Finance Committee
Exactly,
first.
for a transfer.
Because they have a set amount of money that they can, dole out to whatever division is requesting those funds.
okay,
And so my recommendation would be to go before the Finance Committee
agree.
first, after the first, once the next fiscal year starts.
okay. All right, we'll put that on the agenda for the next meeting too, just to keep it on our agenda so we keep.
I don't think there's a need to. I think that would, best bet would be to put that on our June meeting,
Okay,
because that way you're closer to it. And this is just me personally, I like to see agendas be fairly concise for what we're doing for the next month. We can have an outlook portion, but something like that, I think it'd be better, just wait till the June meeting, because then it'll be real fresh in our minds, and we can find out. I'm sure the Finance Committee would be having a meeting shortly after that, and so whoever is selected to go ahead and approach them can go ahead and make a business case for that and go before the Finance Committee.
okay, all right, thank you for your suggestion.
And Connie, that's because you said that the deficit had been resolved?
Yeah, yes, and I think that was, I believe, said at town meeting when they were reviewing the budget, I believe.
Mhm. Okay, all right, the next one is the multicultural meals 4 times a year. Is June working on that, Connie?
Well, we have Cinco de Mayo coming right up.
Oh, good, all right,
Yeah.
awesome.
And we did have
Great.
We did have corned beef and cabbage.
Okay, so we have 2 out of the way. Hey, that's awesome.
Do we have an Italian night?
That would be the next one, actually, right?
Cinco de Mayo. What date is that going to be?
Cinco de Mayo.
May
The
5th.
5th. Don't be wise.
As in
That's
very
the reason
soon.
why I got a cup of coffee. This has been a very slow day for me.
All right, the next item on the agenda is Saturday morning men's club, and I think Michael was kind of interested in that. So has that, any talk about that at the COA?
No,
Okay.
I was hopeful that he would be here today. to talk
Okay.
about something like that.
All right, the next item, a weekend tea, and Mary DeRoss was interested in that, so that we'll talk about next meeting. Pickleball is on here, so the pickleball court was approved, and they will be starting that. It's going to take some time to get that up and running, but it's been approved, so that's
So that's-
awesome. And they're going to improve the parking down there as well, is what I understand as well. So that'll help out for the Council on Aging as well, so that's awesome.
Is there any estimated time frame?
How long
Like,
will
will
it
we
take?
see it this summer, do you think?
Madam Chair, Ms. Maroney, microphone, please.
Microphone?
Sorry.
Um,
Pickleball.
I do
Is there
not,
an estimated time of completion?
I don't have an estimated time of completion. The Recreation Committee hasn't supplied that to me, but I did hear them say it's going to take some time, like at least, I think they said 8 to 9 months to get it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really
Probably
don't,
is, yeah.
knowing the backlog of
Yeah.
projects that the town has, especially the facilities and grounds
Yeah.
folks,
Next year.
I would not anticipate really having that for this year.
No,
Right.
I agree.
Okay. All right.
But that's something, again, that's something that we should bring up early next year, next calendar year.
Okay, thank you. All right, the next item on the agenda is the Carver Night Out. Elaine?
I think at the last meeting, we decided that we wanted to do that again
Yeah.
this year, so I will reach out to Officer Kelly. I don't know the date of it yet, but I will express that we are interested in doing it again this year for the table. I may as well take the next one too, the farmer's market. We also discussed that we would like to do that in the fall with a fall theme, as we did a couple of years ago. So those two are pretty set. The next one, the evening fire pit event with cooking, I think that's going to have to be either scrapped or amended. I talked with Deputy Chief Germain today, and it is not legal to have an open fire on a public ground in Carver.
Okay.
So he said we could have grills, you know, you could move grills or something, but not on Sampson's, but not up near the, you know, so.
Okay, all right.
It's not legal to have a fire pit on town property?
Yes, public property.
Okay. All right, well. All right, the next item on the agenda is the sitting bench and the overlook deck. And do you have an update on any of the sitting bench or anything like that?
I didn't-
Okay. That's fine.
The deck was discussed with Old Colony. I was advised that they have a 2-year waiting list for construction projects. Although this would qualify for one of their projects that they could consider, if we're talking 2 years. So that the other proposal was to go before the board and request for ARPA funding, where there has been some projects of this nature submitted for ARPA funding that actually have been approved. Other towns have discussed some of the ones, so that was a hopeful, but that's yet to be proposed as well.
Okay, all right.
Which board would that go before?
Well, I think there's an ARPA committee.
Could you explain what ARPA is?
Oh, yeah, the American Rescue Plan fundings that actually we appealed to for the funding for our replacement freezers and refrigerator for the COA. So that was the first wave of proposals that were approved and funding was provided. And then there's a second wave for proposals, which I don't have a date on that.
Is it, excuse me, is that a state level thing or federal?
Federal,
Do we know, and they still have money in there?
yes.
Okay.
All right, the next item on the agenda is the building maintenance schedule. And I had sent out a couple of emails to the maintenance department, the town administrator, and just wanting to see if we could sit down with them and just give us a list of the schedule for maintenance. They were going to hire a manager to oversee the town buildings and make a list of what work needed to be done and not needed to be done. And there is a meeting coming up with the town administrator, the maintenance, Connie, and I got an email. They asked if I could attend that meeting as well. So if the board would give approval for me to attend that meeting, I would attend the meeting on behalf of the board. And it's basically, all it is just to go over the emails that I've repeatedly have sent in reference to the work that needs to be done at the Council on Aging building, outside, inside. We're talking about, you know, simple things such as painting, power washing, painting decks, inside, the wallpapering is all falling off the wall, just basic stuff. We're not talking about a major overhaul or anything like that, but just basic items. So,
Madam Chair,
Yeah.
I move that the chair represent the Board of Directors at a meeting with the head of facilities and the town administrator and our director, thank you, to determine or at least investigate a schedule of maintenance to be performed on the Council of Aging building.
we have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, awesome, thank you. All right, the next one on the agenda is another item on the pickleball, and again, that was voted at town meeting, so that has been approved. The next item on the agenda is the agenda policy, and you all received, so going back, there was a Supreme Court ruling on public meetings. You all got a copy of the Supreme Court information from our town attorney. Along with that, there's an ACLU, American Civil Liberties Union Foundation, letter that you have in front of you. I believe it's a letter. Yeah, it's a letter. And it's from Carol Rose, the executive director, and Ruth A. Borquin, the senior and managing attorney. And this just goes over a lot of the Supreme Judicial Court's ruling, and there's a lot of information in here. Putting that aside for 1/2 a minute, the town attorney suggested on our public document that we've been working on, if you turn to public participation,
I don't think I have that as.
Yeah, where are you, Donna?
go to,
Are you on the ACLU?
no, on the Board of Directors agenda that we were working on.
Oh, this? Right here?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have the agenda, but nothing
Yeah, the
else.
agenda, yeah, that's what I want you to look at.
Okay.
If you turn to the second page, the attorney suggested that we take out, hold on. Hold on. The part that said about being polite. It's this side, hold on. Oh, number 7 on the back page. Turn the back page.
I see number 7 here.
Okay. See where it says personalities, politics, personal attacks?
Right.
He said that we cannot judge somebody's personality, in other words, like someone that's really grouchy to you or me might not be grouchy to somebody else, and basically we can't tell someone to be positive and then tell a grouchy person that they have to be positive. It's just, he said it was recommended that we just remove the part about positive, to be positive. So that number 7 just needs to be rewritten. So that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Madam Chair, I just recommend deleting the first sentence of number 7 and just stick with all speakers are asked to be positive, that their concerns are based on fact and not presented with malicious content and cannot be interpreted as slanderous, verbal, or libelous written to other people. That's assuming town council didn't have a problem with that sentence.
Well, whatever we decide on, we will send it to town council to review it, so can you just say it again, Alan, please?
No,
Okay.
it basically,
basically takes
number
that last
7 is
sentence.
2 sentences, and I just want to remove the first sentence.
Right.
The first sentence, okay.
So what will remain is all speakers are asked to be positive. But you said that he recommended to take that out, correct?
Yeah, take out.
About being positive, because you
positive.
can't interpret one person's idea of what's positive.
Yeah,
All right, how about all speakers are asked that their concerns, just take out the 3 words
okay,
in the second sentence, to be positive.
okay. So all speakers are asked that their concerns are based on fact and not presented with malicious content?
Content, or content,
Content.
yeah.
Okay.
Although I think he's gonna have, I think town council's gonna have trouble
With
with that
malicious.
second sentence too, because who's to say,
What's
whose
malicious?
interpretation of slanderous or libel could be different from somebody
Exactly,
else's,
yeah.
so I'm gonna amend my recommendation and just delete all of number 7.
Delete all of number 7?
Mhm.
I think we should think about it and rewrite it in some fashion, but It just seems like this society is so litigious at this point, you can't put anything in. Well, I mean, it's the, in another world, positive, you know, just be positive, you know. So I think it's gonna take time if we wanna rewrite that,
Okay. So I do have
but I agree. So
Go-
you amended it to remove the whole paragraph.
yeah.
We
Can I-
taking comment on any other parts of this public participation?
Well, I just want to go back to the ACLU recommend, form here.
Mm-hmm.
Look at number 5. It says speakers can be required to address the matter within the jurisdiction of the public body, and topics can be limited to those either on the agenda, not on the agenda, or some combination. Special meetings dedicated only to certain topics are allowed.
I go back to what I said at the last meeting.
It's so complicated.
Yeah, I think that we should just allow people, if they want to talk about something, because we're not going to be able to have a conversation unless it's on the agenda, but if they want to speak their mind about something, I think we should let
Does
them.
anybody know, I know the select board was thinking about removing the requirement, because they did have
Yeah.
a
They
requirement where it had to be part of the agenda,
Yeah.
and they were talking about removing it, did
They
they?
did.
Yeah.
Then I don't see how
And
we
I
can.
agree.
Then we have to do, the public has to have a chance to go ahead and say what's on their mind.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, we don't respond to it
Right,
We
if it's
can't.
not on our agenda.
right.
But they should have the option to go ahead and get it off their chest, whatever it happens to be. And, you know, because they may have some great ideas that, you know, just because it's not on our agenda, they can't bring them to us.
Right.
No, I don't think we can limit it to their public comment to just what's on our agenda.
Can it be a certain amount of time, though?
Yes, we
Yeah,
can set a
we can
time
do
limit.
that.
If you refer back to the minutes of last meeting, we talked about this, and I thought we had agreed on
I
that.
thought we had 10 minutes of public
Yeah,
comment,
that we
no
were
more
gonna
than
allow them
2
to
or 3
say
minutes.
anything.
And we
but-
said 2 minutes.
Yeah,
But then the attorney had sent out all that ACLU documents and
Yeah.
all that, so that's where the confusion comes in.
I
so.
see what you're saying, so you're just confirming that we want to continue
Yeah.
to do what.
I'm sorry I wasn't at the last meeting, and I don't want to
No,
throw a
that-
monkey wrench in, but 2 minutes is not enough time. I think, you know,
2 minutes per individual.
no, I mean.
You think they need more than 2
I
minutes?
think we should be giving them 3, and I
3
know
minutes?
that's
Okay.
what the select board does. And I think we have, as far as public comment, I think we have to take our direction a little bit
Right.
from what the select board does.
Okay, so you are saying to put back in the 3 minutes?
3 minutes per
Okay.
individual, 10 minutes for the entire time, and Helen disagrees.
I respectfully disagree because.
That's fine.
No, just for this is introducing a new concept, and we can't have the meeting end up being, what if we have 10 people here?
It's only for
And-
10 minutes.
10
And
minutes.
we've always been polite to people, so if they go a little bit over, it's okay. But I really think we should start at the.
Well, that'll be up to the chair. You know, if someone's going,
why
you
I'm
know,
saying
sitting,
2
if
minutes
if
and
a
then-
person's up there and they've had, you know, obviously gone more than 3 minutes and they're sitting there pontificating, it's up to the chair to say, thank you very much, we appreciate your comments, but we have to allow time for someone else to go ahead and address the board, board of directors.
Yeah, I'm just explaining why.
No,
why 2
and I
minutes was
understand.
right.
It's a valid point.
Can I ask a question to the chair?
So hold on one second. So at the previous meeting, we had decided, I'm just going to read what we had previously talked about. It said all comments must be directed through the chair
Mhm.
and must be related to items specifically listed on the agenda, or a request can be made to the chair to consider the item to be placed on a future agenda.
No,
No.
that wasn't it.
I have my notes.
Is that the agenda from last meeting?
That's the notes, see the blue on the right?
Okay, this was,
That's what we had talked about at the last meeting.
okay, wait a second. The minutes are different. Where are the minutes from last meeting? It's fine if that's what we wrote in.
No, I'm just saying, that's what we had written at the last meeting that we had talked about. But this is very complicated, and
It was withdrawn, though, Dee.
Yeah,
What?
It says.
this part was withdrawn.
Motion to approve public participation portion of COA Agenda Policy Board of Directors and public participation by Helen Maroon for discussion purposes only, and I second it. We took a discussion, Helen suggested we allow all and any topics
That's right.
allowed during public participation, but limited individuals to 2 minutes and a total 10 minutes. The board agreed. However, the motion was withdrawn by
Oh.
Helen, and I seconded it. It was unanimous. Due to several changes, it was decided Dawn will make necessary changes based on our discussion and present to full board at March 30th when we go full vote.
okay.
Okay.
All right, so we're starting over,
Yeah.
kids. No, it's good to go, that's why you have
So-
minutes to go back, so.
I still recommend, they can talk about anything in 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever the board decides.
Okay.
Through the chair?
Yeah.
Just ask this with regard to anything and everything. Can it be at least designated to the responsibility or purview of the board? If they want to, bring up something that's not in control of the board's ability, authority, do you want to still have that forum?
So this is the thing, at town meeting, it was a debate at town meeting on the floor, and people were saying, for instance, if you let it be anything or everything on the agenda, somebody could come before this board and talk about putting in a baseball field at Shertwood Park, and come before our board and have that conversation during public meeting. Is that something this board wants to hear? Is something that has nothing to do with this board?
How about we throw in their statement that says something along the lines, every effort should be made that comments or recommendations by the public should fall within the purview of the Council of Aging or the Council of Aging Board of Directors.
Which makes sense.
We can't tell them they have to stick to that, but we strongly encourage that.
Has to be
Encourage.
relevant to
You're correct.
Relevant to the
COA,
Carver Council on Aging Board of Directors. Can you reword it, Alan, so we can, Helen can get it into the minutes, please?
What's the matter, you don't have a tape recorder?
Every effort,
During citizen participation, public comment, those making a public comment should
Take every effort.
make every effort to ensure that their comments, ideas, or complaints fall under the purview of the Council of Aging and/or the Council of Aging Board of Directors. That way, if they want to bring up a baseball field, technically you can't stop them, but,
okay. That was a big
Now,
thing.
do we
at
have
town
to
meeting.
make motions on these?
I-
That we all agree? Or we're gonna do
actually,
it at the end?
well, we
Why
can
don't
do it individually,
Yeah, why don't
or
we
wait
end?
till we've got everything
I'd rather the
together
end.
in one packet and do it all at once.
Wait,
Yeah.
yeah, wait,
So it's
because I think we need to retype this.
Yeah,
and
because I've got
everything.
some different,
We'll
I
do
got
it
a
at the end.
couple of these other ones I have a comment about, I'm sorry.
All right. So now that we have that part of it, is everybody in agreement to move on here?
Yes.
Okay. So the bullet point here, well, at the top, we took out quorum, we took out agenda approval. We just talked about the public comment.
Okay, so,
Alan?
looking at public participation, okay, just the bullet point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, got no problem with that.
Okay.
2, the session generally will be held immediately after the Pledge of Allegiance, or can be deferred to the end of the agenda by the chair.
Okay. So if I hear you correctly, you said this session, on item number 2, this session generally can be held after the Pledge of Allegiance or can be deferred by the chair to a different position on the
To
agenda?
the end of the agenda.
To the end of the agenda.
Also, can I get rid of this session? I would rather see it spelled out, public participation.
Okay.
I agree.
Number 3, whatever we decide, but instead of the chair may set speaker time limits, speaker time limits are 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever we decide, in order to allow time to get, for others to participate in public participation and complete the working meeting agendas in a timely fashion.
All right, we have to start again, because,
No.
all right, set
'Cause, you know,
speaker time limits.
Yeah, because that's too vague.
2
That's
minutes.
saying you can.
Right. So set speaker time limits to 2 minutes. We can change that 2 minutes later on, but in order to
Allow others
others
to participate in public participation
to participate, hold on, participate in public participation, okay.
and allow the board of directors to complete their working meeting in a timely fashion.
Working meeting
Period.
in a time.
Next sentence.
Hold on,
Yeah,
fashion.
Because what,
finish your thought.
okay, second sentence of number 3, public participation.
Wait a minute, what are you saying?
Just another sentence to number 3.
Oh, okay.
Public participation shall be for a time period of 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, that's probably should be another, I think we have it, we should have that as another line item, wouldn't you think?
It
Or-
is.
It's not.
I thought it was, no?
Well, currently, we have it set at 10 minutes, but public party, 10 minutes total.
You know, I was just saying, okay, so what's the big deal, 2-3 minutes, apples, you know, it doesn't matter, but if you divide it up, though, it doesn't make sense. If we're having a total of 10 minutes and 3 minutes each, it means that
3 people can talk.
3 point something can talk. Whereas
2 minutes, 5
2 minutes
people.
is simple, it's giving 5 people the opportunity to have a
Okay,
conversation.
that's fine, I've got no problem.
No, I don't, that's why I
Yeah.
was saying it, you know, because you know me, I'm very open and willing to, you know, agree with the 3 so it's consistent, but it doesn't make sense.
Okay, then
In the sense of, if you're logically,
2 minutes.
yeah, and it's not a whole. Dividing 10 minutes divided by 3, it's not a whole. So, you see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So and again, it doesn't matter, 2 or 3 minutes.
Right,
but-
and the chair has the discretion.
Exactly.
Okay, so anyway, but I still say we need to have, you know, that the session will be 10 minutes
10
long.
minutes.
Yeah,
How about
minutes
if we just
total.
put that in number 1, there will be
Public.
one 10-minute session of public
We can put that, we can do
participation.
that there instead.
Yeah,
I've got
so
no,
it wouldn't be
I,
as wordy.
that's fine.
Ah, that's the school
That's
teacher
good.
being concise.
In one 10-minute
I like
session.
it. There will be one
Session.
10-minute session. I like it. I like it, Elaine.
Alrighty.
Number 4, it says speakers need to address the chair, and they put only, the attorney added only on there,
Well,
because they can't have a
agree with that.
discussion with the rest of the board,
right.
so that's
how
not,
you control it.
right.
Because then there'll be an open meeting law complaint if somebody directs something to myself or Elaine. and
Right. All right.
5, delete entirely.
Delete what?
Number 5,
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
I
that-
agree.
That has to go
Exactly.
now.
okay,
Meow. That was the one where it says it has to be on the agenda
Yeah.
only.
okay.
all right, 6 will become 5. Here we go with a major rewrite again.
If you want your topic to be.
Remember,
edited.
Helen, this is your fault.
Oh, because no, this is perfect.
All right,
Hey, wise
ready
Carver.
to take notes here? The new number 5.
All right, hold on. I'm putting my arrows down here. Go ahead, Mr. Dunham.
Okay. Any member of the public may submit a possible topic to be added to the next meeting agenda by writing 10 business days prior to the next posted meeting.
All right, hold on. I'm on an item. Any member of the public may submit an item to
To be added
be added.
at the discretion of the chair and the director of council of aging. No, you don't want anything to do with it?
Well-
All right, to the chair.
What do you, can you,
Basically,
what's the difference in terms of what she has for number 6
because
now?
this is a little bit too ambiguous. If you want your topic to be added, I'm just making it real, more specific.
Okay.
This is my scientific meteorology mind working.
Yeah, can you change the weather for the weekend, please?
I'm in sales, not production. I advertise it, I don't make it. Okay, you want me to go again?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Any
Want me
Any
to read
member
what I
of the
wrote?
public
Okay.
wishing
A wishing?
to
You-
submit a topic
Oh, God.
to be added to the next meeting agenda, comma, I'm waiting for Helen to catch up.
Doing just fine.
Okay, at the,
I'm gonna have you type these all.
no, you don't want to do that. At the discretion of the chair,
Okay.
comma, ready?
Yep.
Must be submitted in writing 10 business days prior to the next scheduled meeting.
And
See, that way you don't need the please note. It's all in one sentence.
can I add something to that?
Sure.
And then we need to add in something if they're going to provide documents or anything like that for that agenda item, we have to have that 10 days in advance as well.
Yeah, just,
Say they
yeah,
were going to talk on a
Yep.
specific topic,
yep.
we need to have the document so we know what the,
Any proposed, right. Any proposed,
add it to number 5 though,
Donna
right?
is the one
No.
that does this. I don't have to have it verbatim.
yeah, the new number 5. Okay.
No, he thinks that I'm writing,
I'm hoping you, so we get it right.
so you wanna double check.
Yeah.
All right, repeat.
Okay.
Any member of the
A- a-
public
any
wishing a
i- Any
topic.
item submitted, because this is a new sentence, any item submitted as an agenda item by the public must also contain any supporting documentation that the member wishes to submit.
Cool. I like this pen, it helps me write fast.
Can I also add something else in there? I think that they should provide copies to us.
No,
Right.
that'll be up to the chair to include them as part of our packet for the meeting. Because we cannot have any discussion or even interaction about a proposed agenda item from the public. Because that's strictly up to the chair.
Well, hold on
It
one,
can be shared with the vice chair, because that would only be 2 of us, because you got to make sure you're not having any type of, anything that can be
no.
perceived.
I don't think you understood me, I'm sorry. What I was saying was, if you're going to submit a document to be added to the agenda for the board, then we need to have 5 copies made. And the reason why is because if it's some kind of plans or something like that, this board doesn't have funding to make copies of those plans. If the person wants to bring plans before us or something like that, they should make their own copies. I feel that way. Any other discussion on that?
I'm just trying to imagine what someone would be presenting
Yeah.
that would have building plans to it,
Go ahead.
because that's,
When it's presented to you, as they are submitting it 10 days in advance, could you then determine and request of them at the time that whatever documents they're showing you at that time, could we get 5 copies for the meeting when you bring it before the board?
if it's
Rather
5,
than putting it in writing, it's a determination to be made
Okay,
as a chair.
that's fair.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair. And then if they can't do it and I can't do it, then we'll have to go to the,
Then we go to the select board and say, we need a bigger budget for printing.
Or you tell them that the COA will make copies, right? That's what we do, so.
okay. All right. Okay, so,
So I think we have a good, that's my recommendation for a reworked number 5, which used to be number 6.
yeah. Okay, and number,
That's it. All we have left now is over on the next page,
and those are
number
all-
7, and we're deleting all that.
Right. Okay. All right,
Sure you want me done, shouldn't I, sure you don't want me to be
Perhaps
working for the next meeting?
excuse me?
So don't, do you want me to be working for the next meeting?
No, 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 no.
This is what we need,
No,
Alan.
we
This
need-
is
we
exactly
needed to
what we
change
need,
it.
is open ears, open minds, open to everything. That's what makes a good board, is having different ideas, and I agree that this is awesome. So, between Helen and myself, we'll try to put this together for the next meeting.
I'm not quite done yet.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I thought you were.
Back up, no, I'm just reading up on the bullets above, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Wait a minute, where are you
Where
now?
you-
Where are you
Public
now?
participation
I'm on public
still?
participation, but you've got 3 bullets there before the numbers.
Yeah,
See 'em?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
First bullet,
Doesn't mind, please go to the microphone.
they will need to provide the, get rid of "it is helpful for the board." They have to provide their name and address, however you want to word that. But to address the board, we need a name and an address.
Okay, so, bullet point 1, name and address
Must be stated.
must be provided
Yep,
to the board of directors,
to the chair,
to the
actually.
chair. Okay.
Bullet number.
What about the one, as a reminder, please go to the microphone? Do we need that?
Yes,
Okay,
if available.
okay. Or that table right there.
Well, because I'm just thinking if we're in a meeting downstairs instead of here,
Right,
there's not always a microphone available.
Right.
true. Okay, the next one, note
Next
that
bullet,
the
yeah.
board will not be entering into a dialogue, or note that the board will not,
Cannot.
will
Will
not,
not.
will not, I don't know, entering into a dialogue.
No, it's actually cannot because,
Because of the laws.
yeah. Oh,
I mean, that's
we,
what.
in order to avoid any open meeting law violation,
Exactly, and so by specifying that, like, when we say will not, it sounds like we are like saying, we're not gonna talk to you. So for persons who aren't familiar with the open meeting laws, by saying cannot, we're saying, we're not allowed to.
yeah, but we also, it's a period after the board about your views, period. Because we don't have any current agenda items because it's not restricted to
Right.
current agenda items.
So let's do that. Note that the board cannot be entering into a dialogue at the open forum time, or should we change that to public participation?
Change it to
That
public
makes more
participation.
The purpose of this agenda item is for you, the public, to inform us, the board, about your views. Leave that?
Voice
Yes,
your con-
period.
yeah, and voice your
That's all it's for.
Perfect,
And I see no need for, for little dot number 3.
right.
That looks
Because
like
we've
it was
already made clear, we're
crossed
not,
out.
nobody's gonna go ahead and engage them in conversation.
Yeah, we already.
Right.
I think that was already crossed out.
It was crossed
Yeah,
out,
it was,
yeah.
but they still had in parentheses,
Yeah.
chair cannot engage either. Just
Right.
pull it out of
Just
there.
pull it out altogether.
Right, okay.
Okay, I think I've done as much damage to this as I can.
No, this was good.
No, this is good.
Public participation is so front and center these days, so it's good to, clean it up
All right, so,
based on the new laws.
with the recommendation of the board, between Helen and myself, we'll go ahead and correct these or review these and make copies for the next meeting.
And have it be an agenda item for approval, for
Final.
final review and possible vote, which we will vote on.
Okay.
But on the agenda, listed as final review and possible vote. Because that way, and you should do that on almost any item you're planning on, you're wanting a vote on, discussion, and possible vote. That way, if it gets, we don't have enough information, we have to postpone it, we can still do that, but the public knows we're intending to vote on these items.
Right.
And how about right under public participation? Do you want to change that to 2 minutes, where you have it 2 minutes in the,
Yeah, it should all be,
They all should be the same.
Yeah.
On the
It still
agenda,
says
okay.
3 in-
Oh, at the
minutes up
top of
there.
that page, yeah, I saw that too.
yep.
Yeah.
And then we will finalize at the next meeting.
2 minutes.
And finalize and possibly vote.
Finalize, discuss, and possibly.
Possible
vote.
revote, okay, I got that written down. All right.
I'm sorry, we're taking up your time.
No, it's okay. The next item on the agenda, is everybody else set on that? So,
Yep.
okay, great, thank you. The next item on the agenda is the director's report. Connie
And
Kelly.
you don't have a microphone.
I'll speak very loudly.
Are those-
I was gonna grab a microphone.
Want to grab one of them?
There's bunches over here.
I didn't know how portable they are.
Oh,
If you pull tug enough,
I don't know.
anything.
Microphone to go. Thank you.
directors reporting.
This is a recap of both March and April. I have the statistics for both months. The GATRA trips were a major increase for March. We're up to 688 rides, and April was 525. Both months are increases over previous years. In nutrition, our congregate meals for March were 247, April 221, and March meals on the move 866, and for April 722.
Excuse me,
Yes,
but that's just through the 27th?
counted today.
Okay, so we still have 3 more days, so those numbers will go up for April.
For April, no, tomorrow.
Only tomorrow.
No,
Yeah.
today was the,
Right, but we don't.
The weekend.
oh, that's
Monday,
right, you don't do
May.
weekends.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Connie,
Maybe
through the
we
chair. Any idea why there's like incrementally increasing on those trips?
With the GATRA, it's just a greater amount of ridership that we've been receiving. We have a lot more. The GATRA service not only is for senior transportation, but we also transport disabled individuals. And I want to say there's a growing number of individuals that need transportation to their places of work. So we have them on a regular schedule as well as the senior trips. So our schedule's building and building on a lot of levels. And just seniors in general, I think some of the increase was incurring because of costs of fuel, and I think a lot of seniors took advantage of the GATRA services for that reason as well. And once they're taking advantage of it, they seem to really, stick with it. I think that is a factor. We've registered to date from the inception of my senior center. We're currently at 360 registered seniors. The newsletters have been emailed out to 587 individuals, with 844 being mailed, and about 350 distributed throughout the town of Carver. March, these were highlights of some of the events that took place. We had a presentation with BID Plymouth registered dietitian Marsha Richards about the Mediterranean diet. That was a very well-attended program. There was a lot of interest in that. She's been providing nutrition programs on a every other month basis. The Conservation Commission representative, Dan Badger, came and gave a presentation on the proposed development of the property that's adjacent to the COA, which there was a lot of interest and a lot of questions about what's going to happen there, which was very informative. Of course, we had our St. Patrick's Day corned beef and cabbage luncheon, was very well attended with musicians, Stanley and Grimm, who were sponsored by the Carver Cultural Council. March also started with the return of our monthly foot care services, and that will be continuing on a schedule of every third Wednesday. We do have a change in some of the dates for April and for May, but the continued schedule would be for every third Wednesday by appointment. We also had a very interesting program that was provided for a presentation on the Guiding Eyes for the Blind, training of dogs for that purpose, and their puppy raisers and the dogs themselves were there and demonstrated some of the skills that they learn. For April, we started thinking of spring. We had the involvement with the Plymouth County Extension representatives for the agricultural department. We had a program on selecting seeds and plants, and we had Plymouth County Extension's entomologist Blake Dinius, who's done a lot of programs for us. The Bugs That Bug You was a mosquito and tick prevention seminar, which also included a representative from the Plymouth County Mosquito Control Project. Coming up for May, I've attached a copy of the May. This is not the actual newsletter. We are still due to get those tomorrow, but they have been emailed out already, which is the benefit of getting it by email. You get it at least a full week ahead of the mailed copies. But we are going to, in fact, I just met the regional public health nurse, Patricia, I think it's Iafredi, how you say her last name. I met her this morning, and she's working with several communities, but for Carver, we'll be having her services tied in with our wellness clinic and other special, opportunities, maybe with presentations and other special programming with her. So we'll get her on our weekly wellness clinics, which we hold on every Tuesday. So she will be starting, actually, next week will be the first introduction, and I'll follow up also because we're going to be having a health and safety fair. That will be on May 20th. She will also be attending that. Will be a nice introduction to the community to meet her there. Cinco de Mayo, the 5th of May, we'll be having a taco bar lunch. Again, just a $3 lunch, which we normally have, but it will be with that theme and a bunch of fun activities to go along with it. That is a registration for that. Normally, our lunches do not require registration. For this particular event, we are asking just for a head count. Color Me Happy is a program provided by Soothing Touch to Go. They received a grant to offer us a free program. Last year, they offered us a drumming session, which was a lot of fun, and this is another type of almost like an art therapy program, which sounds like a lot of fun. Author Debbie Graham Laird is coming on May 12th. We had to reschedule her from September of last year, but she's a New England author of a mystery series, and she's going to be providing a presentation along with copies of her book that she will autograph, and they are available for purchase if desired. We're starting a walking club. We had some very active seniors that had an interest in organizing a walking group, and we'll start with the meeting on Thursday, May 18th, for those that are interested in the community and maybe get together and determine how and when to meet, that type of thing. We're already looking at, a lot of the trails within the town itself and maybe beyond the community. There is also, in the newsletter and on this director's report, the link for the Walk Massachusetts Challenge, which begins May 1st and runs through October. The benefit of anyone who does participate in that is there's a chance that they can win prizes, along with earning opportunities for everyone that registers and completes their challenge. The town of, the Carver COA has an entry into win a monetary prize. So it's always worthwhile to have just the participation for just having that opportunity that we might get to win that as well. We've already had participants win prizes themselves. As I mentioned, the Health and Safety Fair is slated for Saturday, May 20th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It will be open to the general public. There's going to be exhibitors with information on security, safety, fitness, wellness, and nutrition. We have the Carver EMS providing a blood pressure clinic, the Plymouth County Sheriff's Department providing senior IDs. Plymouth County DA's office will be offering information on triad and scam concerns and other information. Old Colony Elder Services will be there with a table to present a lot of the services they offer, and a lot more. We'll be advertising. I'm still waiting to hear back and getting confirmation for some other departments and other, other exhibitors that will be there as well. So I'll be promoting that in the next few days. But it is in the newsletter that is featured on the front page. Some things that are upcoming for the future months. The Carver Cultural Council has also sponsored admission tickets to the native butterfly habitat, Butterflies of Cape Cod. They're located in Bourne, down by near the canal. And once they open for the season, I will make those tickets available. There's also sponsored by the Cultural Council, the Notable Blend Chorus, which will have an evening concert on Wednesday, June 21st at 7 o'clock at the COA. The Friends met recently and have also offered to start having a second Singo program offered every month. Right now, we've been having it every first Monday of every month. It's very popular, and I think everyone enjoys it, so the Friends have picked up that we'll be offering it on every third Tuesday, and that will start in June. And just wanted to update, we had applied for and received funding with the ARPA funding for the replacement of our freezers. We have had 5 new replacement freezers and 1 refrigerator that have now since been purchased and installed. They are all indoors within the COA building itself. They're divided between the first floor pantry and the basement level within the building. And that only leaves the walk-in freezer that is outdoors, and that would be the only one that would be accessed from the outside. The others that were stored in the unfinished part of the building that was only accessible from the outside will be eliminated.
Wow.
And the state earmark funds are currently providing a couple of programs that are in the works. One is the handrail installation, which is literally going on as we speak. That will be providing a railing to hold on to from the parking lot all the way up the sidewalk, as well as from the handicap parking out in front of the building, and it will lead right up to the ramp on the side entrance. The mini split ductless cooling and heating system that was proposed for the nutrition center is in the works. I think the items have been on order, and we just have yet to have a completion or installation date on that, but it does need to be completed by the end of June.
Okay. Thanks. Hopefully, May 4th, we'll be able to get an update on that.
Most likely then.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I just
It's
wanted,
great news.
I just want to go back and thank the Carver Cultural Council because they have contributed a lot to what happens at the Carver Council on Aging, and that's really a wonderful program. Also, I see that you have been working with the Plymouth County Exchange.
Extension, yes.
Yeah, extension. So the Cranberry Bog Tour program, that was through the Cranberry program exhibit in Wareham, so that's where that one comes out of. The other item, I just want to say, I did meet the nurse today. She seems very nice, and so that's wonderful that she can participate on the 20th. Also, the taco bar, that is a Friday,
Right.
and I have Friday off.
Oh, please come.
I don't.
That would be great.
Are
And
you
then,
excited?
I know, right? And then the Friends of the Carver Council on Aging, thank you for adding the Singo.
Singo.
And then the Walking Club, that's wonderful. I was wondering, maybe we could get a men's walking club. You know, when you have your meeting, maybe you could talk about to see if there's an interest in a men's walking club. That might be interesting.
Yeah, it'd
You
be,
never know.
yeah, just hopeful to get a walking club.
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
but I'm
So,
just saying,
yeah.
if there's men there, maybe they want to have like a men's one too. And I was at the,
We can be co-ed.
yeah, I was at the Carver Council on Aging today, and I was really happy to see the railing. The only concern I had is the, hold on, the ramp, when it goes into the driveway, there is a lip about this much. So if you had a wheelchair, you can't get it over that lip. You have to lift the wheelchair and do it. So that needs to be fixed, so.
Well,
we-
that has been brought up to maintenance, and
Okay.
they're aware of it, and it's been
Okay.
something that's been brought to their attention. And
Okay.
hopefully, with regard to proposals of even addressing the parking,
Mhm.
which paving could also lead up to creating the apron for that.
Mhm.
That is part of a lot of the list that we have put together and have been requesting. Hopefully, that will be part of what's being addressed with it as well.
Okay, and then the other thing was, I'm glad to see that the freezers were moved inside, because in the wintertime, that
Well,
was
they're not
so
even moved, I
dangerous.
mean, they were brand new. I want to
Right,
point that
but-
out, where they're not the old ones that are in that unfinished area are being disposed of.
Okay.
Yes.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Thank you for working on that, because that's a
Great.
big, big change. Okay. Any other comments for the director?
No.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. All right, the next item on the agenda is the board member comments, and I'll start to my right with the vice chair, Alan.
I think I provided enough comments today.
Okay. To my right, Elaine?
I think it was a great meeting, great working meeting.
Okay,
Got a lot
good.
accomplished.
All right, to my left, Helen.
I don't have any comments. It was a good meeting.
All right, Paula, do you have any comment?
Just one to Chair.
Mhm.
I've been still asked if the parking off to the right is still in the works, or, I know the town administrator at one meeting was supposed to come and present how that he was gonna propose taking to that island, but I don't know if that was,
You mean the
Maybe
island in
considered-
front of the
I know-
post office?
remember when I first came on the board, you were suggesting parking
Towards
to the
Crane
right of
Brook?
that ramp going to the nutrition center,
Right.
so that the people that have a hard time walking up and down, even with the railing.
I can talk on May,
Handicap parking.
right, I'll talk on May 4th about that. Thanks for bringing that up. Okay. All right, and the only thing like I said, I just want to just thank all the members in the town, the different committees that help with the Carver Council on Aging. It's just awesome to see all the work that the Friends do, the Cultural Club, and, others. Now we have the conservation with Dan Badger working on the building next door, so that's going to be a nice outdoor pavilion that the Council on Aging can take advantage of, so that's really nice. I don't have anything else to add. Our next meeting is May 18th. We usually have the meeting the last Thursday of the month, but because of the Memorial Day weekend, I put it on here for May 18th. Okay. And then if we can have a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
My
Thank you.
second?
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye.